It's time for another episode of the No Tracers podcast. If you're into urban exploring, this one's for you. Let's get into it. Step into the world of decay, abandonment, and chaos. The story of an urban explorer starts here, at the beginning. Welcome to the podcast you've been looking for all along. This is No Tracers. Here, we take only photos. We leave only footprints. And remember, leave no trace. Hey, happy Friday. Hope you're gearing up for your weekend of exploring. If so, you're probably looking for something to listen to, and I'm glad you clicked on No Tracers. This show is all about urban exploring. I'm your host, Kay, known as No Tracers. You can find all my social media down in the description, but just to go over it real quick, my Instagram, YouTube, TikTok are all No Tracers. My website is notracers.com. Pretty much everything is No Tracers. If you Google it, you'll find me. And I'm an urban explorer. I've been exploring since I was a kid, but I've been documenting my explores since about 2015, 2016. And yeah, this show I have guests on to share their stories, their insights, their tips and tricks for urban explorers that are just getting into the hobby. Or if you're just looking for some crazy stories to listen to, this is the podcast for you. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like the show, please leave a rating and feedback. It helps the podcast grow. Before we get into this episode with Ancient Adam, I wanted to just touch on a few things. First of all, I got to thank our partner, Liquid Death Water. If you've never heard of Liquid Death, go to liquiddeath.com, get a case of water, get a koozie set, and use code JUSTTHELETTERK for 10% off your order. Additionally, if you're looking for a bag that you want to put your camera gear in or whatever gear you have in a backpack that is going to last, I've had the same bag for 6 years. This company, Wandered, they actually did a Kickstarter when they first came onto the scene, and I pitched into their Kickstarter, and I got 2 bags, actually, but I've used one of the bags for the last 6 years, and I used to go through a bag every 6 months, 4 to 6 months. Every single, quarter, I would have to buy a new bag. That's 4 bags a year. That's a lot of money. But Wandered came out with this bag called the PRVKE, 21-liter bag, and that's what I use now. And if you guys want to get a Wandered bag that will last you a lifetime, go down in the description. There's a link down there for you that shows you their best sellers. It's an affiliate link, so I get a little bit of commission whenever you buy something through that link. Appreciate you guys doing that. You can also buy me a coffee. I don't drink coffee, but the website is buymeacoffee.com. It's just a couple dollar donation. It helps the podcast keep running. I don't really do Patreon or anything like that, just because I don't know, it's hard to keep up with that kind of stuff, and I feel like there's better use of your money and my time. So if you want to buy me a coffee, dope, thank you. Other way to support the podcast and myself, you can buy merchandise. I have 2 coffee table books about urban exploring and abandoned places. One of them came out last year on Friday the 13th, and the one that I put out first came out 2 years ago. I'm working on another one this year. We'll see what happens, but thank you guys for doing that. If you want to pick up a book or merchandise, go to notracers.com/shop. And yeah, that's pretty much all my intro is. But thank you for listening to No Tracers. Without further ado, Ancient Adam, please introduce yourself and how long you've been exploring to the No Tracers audience.
I'm Adam. My Instagram is Ancient Adam. Been exploring for on and off for most of my life. It's kind of something I grew up doing. I lived on a farm and had a lot of land and woods and barns to go through, and that's kind of where that all started. But I didn't really start exploring seriously until maybe I want to say 2014 or 2015.
Gotcha. So wait, what was your first exploration when you got super into exploring?
The first one that really jump started my interest was a friend brought me to this really cool abandoned, I think it was a paper mill that was right next to a river, and the mill was powered by the like current of the river, and it was like a half burnt down one and very graffitied and very like decayed and dangerous, but it was so cool, and I'd never been in a place like that before ever. And there
So I
was
went to a
yeah.
paper mill that was like similar to that up in Canada.
Oh wow.
And it looked like a Call of Duty map. It was sick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was also like, covered in graffiti, trashed, and just kind of burned down. So when you said that, I was like, I wonder if it was the same one. But there's
Oh
no
no,
way.
no, it's not that one. I've never been to Canada actually. That's
Gotcha.
on my list.
It's definitely a cool spot. So you've been doing this since like 2014. What makes you keep going back to keep doing this? Like, what is it about like urban exploring and abandoned places that kind of drives you to keep doing it?
It's kind of a two part thing. One is I'm way too curious about uh, finding out like what's inside every place. I want to know like if there's anything cool left behind or any glimpses of history that you could stumble across. And or just like it's just like the unknown. Like when every time I'm like out driving and I drive by a place that looks abandoned, I'm like, I wonder what's in there. I gotta know because I love finding. My favorite thing is finding like old like documents, just things that you can like rifle through and read about like in these places. I've gotten pretty lucky like getting to a bunch of spots that had things like that. It just has like old information because they're like these places are time capsules. So like most of these like anytime they close down, um, like if the place stopped operating in like 2003, when you go in that building, it's kind of like you're in 2003, but like a really messed up version of it. And
Yeah,
yeah, I just need to know what's in there, what's left
yeah,
behind.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, it's definitely like quite a interesting thing that I think only urban explorers can understand. We like walk into the past when we go in these buildings, and it's very special for us to experience those kind of things and like document them. And for you, when did photography like come into play? When did you start documenting your explores?
Um, I would. Well, at first I brought my phone, and I didn't document. I don't even think I took pictures the first time I went to that mill, but I went back later with like this little Canon camera I had, this little point and shoot, nothing crazy, and I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, even though I got a better camera now. Um, but yeah, I dabbled in it a little then, but I didn't really. I've just used my phone for most of the time, and I've only gotten the camera probably like 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm
Gotcha.
insanely new to like actual getting into photography. Um, the exploring stuff I've been doing, and I'm pretty feel pretty good about it. It's like this new challenge of learning how to get good shots, and I don't even know what half these settings are. It's insane.
I've been doing photography for 10 years and I still don't know the
Oh
settings.
wow. Okay.
I'm kidding, obviously, but it's definitely like a learning curve, to get into the hobby or the craft of photography and video. So, yeah, I wish you the best of luck with that. And if you need tips, there's a whole community out here that can definitely help with that kind of stuff. But have you ever gotten permission to explore a spot?
um, I haven't, but I'm definitely not opposed to seeking out an owner and just like giving a call or shooting an email, and because a lot of times I feel like if you're just like upfront and honest and nice, people can sometimes be pretty like giving with I don't know, like permission or like time. But I haven't had an opportunity for it, but it's something I definitely want to do if I can.
Yeah, it definitely takes away the some of the anxiety that comes with like
Yeah.
getting into spots, when you are like allowed to be there. I've done a few where I've had like permission to be there, and you can like take your time and really appreciate the place, I feel, when you have like that permission. But I mean, part of what we do is like not getting permission to do these things, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
and
like,
my biggest stress about all of this is literally like finding a place to leave my car and
right.
like leaving that and all my stuff in there, and like, you know, I hope I come back and it'll still be there, or like someone's not gonna like find it. And so if you could just eliminate the whole like I'm not supposed to be here, I can get caught. Yeah, that's major.
Yeah,
Have you
definitely. I
ever
mean,
gotten
even
permission?
yesterday. Yeah, so I've been to like 2 or 3 places. I did an overnight stay at an asylum where we got permission, and then
What?
there was a nuclear plant in Washington that you can like rent out. So this band rented it out for 2 days because there's like a caretaker, you know. So they just like pay the caretaker, whatever, the property owner, and then they were there for 2 days, and they had me come out and film like behind the scenes for their music video shoots. And they were like, we know you love abandoned stuff, this place is abandoned, and we'd love to have you come out and like, you know, explore and film. And you know, so those were like 2 of the times that I really enjoyed getting to like fully explore a place, especially the nuclear plant, because it was so big. It was like, I don't know, 200,000 square feet or some crazy, it was just gigantic.
Wow.
But super, super cool place to explore. I got to go in the cooling tower, in one of the, you know, nuclear cooling towers, because it's obviously decommissioned. So it was like, it was an amazing experience. But yeah, those are like the only 2 times I've had permission. But to your point about like where to park the car, I was literally exploring yesterday, and I parked my car on this like side street, and we were walking back to the car, and I was like, oh, my car's probably gone. You know, they probably towed it, or like I have a ticket, you know? So it's definitely one of those things where like you don't really know where the best place is, especially if you're like new to the area. And like, yeah, it's definitely nerve wracking to like leave the car, because like without your car, like what do? You can't really call an Uber to like a bando.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, and then that's the whole thing, you know, your car's gone.
Exactly.
I'm guessing it wasn't,
yeah.
though.
No, my car was there.
Good.
Everything is fine. Yeah, everything's good. It was like we parked in like a nearby neighborhood to go to this place, and I was like, you know, stressed about it, but I was like, you know, whatever, it's fine. And you know, usually when we explore, we kind of wear like dark colors, but I was shooting a music video for a song that I'm putting out.
Oh.
And I had to wear all white. So I was like,
yeah.
It kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. You know, you can't really blend into the scenery when you're in all white. And I was like, we're just going to hope for the best, you know? So, but we pulled it off and got everything we needed, which was cool. But, for you, like, what has been one of your most creative entrances into an abandoned place?
It wasn't really the entrance into the place itself, because most of them I've just been able to just walk into. But there was a creative way to get to a spot that we were already in. So at this one place, me and my friend, we were like going through the whole thing, and we wanted to get to this other building that wasn't connected to it, but there was the only way was like this sketchy bridge thing that was built between the buildings of this factory, and it did not look safe at all. It was like crumbling, but we really wanted to get to the other side. So we we noticed that there was this is so stupid, but we noticed there was like a fallen smokestack that was laying across the top of like that bridge thing. And I don't know why, but I was like, I feel like that's better. And we went up on the roof and looked at it, and we are like, I don't know. But I walked across. I would never do this today. I don't know what I was thinking, but we walked through this like smokestack thing that was acting as like its own tunnel, and got to the other side of that roof and climbed down. And it was I would never do that again. But that was pretty creative and dumb, because it was very high up too, over a river.
Oh my God. Dude,
yeah,
we
and I didn't take any pictures that day, so that felt bad. It felt like it was all for nothing.
right. No, for sure. That's like, you know, my biggest, like, I don't know. It's like one of the weird things about this is like, if you didn't take a photo, did it even happen?
Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of weird that we live in this world of like capture everything, document everything, and like post it online. You know, like a lot of times we forget like to just enjoy the moments. like yesterday I was exploring and obviously filming this music video, and I was like, I don't even need to like take photos because one, I had been to the spot before, and like second, I just kind of wanted to like enjoy it and take it in because I know the spot's gonna get demoed soon. So I was like, because they're like building this like development near it, and they're definitely gonna tear the house down because it's falling apart and nobody lives there obviously, and it's just like kind of in their way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like they're just gonna like tear it down and build ugly ass houses that all look the same, and it sucks because it's like this beautiful like mansion of a house, and it's like
there's nothing.
I hate to see that kind of stuff happen.
There's nothing sadder than like when some urbexer I follow on Instagram will post like a picture of a place they went to and they're like, oh, R.I.P. and I'm like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I get like emails all the time about some specific places that I used to explore. I used to live in California, so
Oh, wow.
There's like some spots in LA and like around Los Angeles where we got to explore, and they're long gone, but I still get emails today like, where's this spot at? Like I want to film a movie or whatever there, and I'm like, yeah, it's been gone. Like it says in the post that I made, like this place is no longer there. Like but people still go out of their way to try to figure out like where these spots are or were, and it's like that is like the sad part about what we do is that it's so fleeting, and like even the spots change, every time you visit them. There's like either more decay, more graffiti, people have fucked it up, like there's a lot that can like kind of slowly destroy a building. And I've got a bunch of friends that explore Detroit, and we're in this big group chat, and they were talking about how like there's like 7 places that we explored like late last year that are like gone, which is insane to me.
Wow.
But there's this like theory that the police are like burning down these places, which is nuts, but it's like they could be, it's like it's just one of those weird things with the community that like we don't really know what's going on, but it's like there's something going on,
Yeah, who knows? I mean, yeah. So it's unfortunate because there are some places that I've loved a lot and I've gone back to or want to go back to, and I'm worried that it's going to be even worse the next time. Like this hospital, that's one of my favorite places ever. I've been to it twice and only a few years apart from each other, but the second time it was just so much worse. It was really sad, and now I'm like, it's been 2 years since then, and I'm so like worried about going back and just having it be like even sadder.
Yeah, I hate seeing that kind of stuff, but like I said, it's like a part of what we do, and it's like one of the downsides. But has anything ever made you want to stop exploring? Like, have you ever had like an experience where you were like, I gotta chill for a second?
Yeah, actually, at that hospital, I got caught by the cops and escorted out, and I was given a ticket, and I had to go to court twice, and it was all fine. Everything got dropped, no problems. I feel bad though because I got like I was caught because I parked like right out front like an idiot, because it's a place like in this small town, like nothing happens. I've been there before and it was like never a problem, and I was like, yeah, I can get away with anything. And then the cops just happened to drive by, saw my car there right next to the entrance that says no trespassing, and yeah. And there was another well-known Instagram explorer there that got caught because of me, and I felt so bad because I would have loved to have like talked to them and been like, "Yeah, let's explore sometime," but it probably won't want to since got him caught.
Yeah.
But that made me, that whole dealing with the police and the court and all that, and the stress from it, even though I didn't really get in lasting trouble, it made me take a break for about a year.
Wow. Damn.
Because you never know, like what's gonna happen. Like it's basically up to the cops and judges what happens to you. I feel like, and I hate that it's like not in your control once you're caught.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, a big case study for that is Sam and Colby. They got caught in Florida, and they were, trespassing and whatever in an abandoned place, and got caught. And the place they were in was like a construction site, it wasn't like actually abandoned. So in Florida, if you get caught trespassing in a construction site, it's a felony.
Oh my
So
god.
they got like I think Colby got like 3 felony charges because he had like a fake ID on him at the time from like when he was 20, and
Uh,
like so that got him in trouble. And then like being on the property, he got like charged with like 2 other felonies, and like so that's why they do like ghost hunting now and not urbex stuff. They like totally pivoted away from it, but that's like one of those like fascinating case studies where it's like not in your, like you said, not in your hands anymore once you get caught. And it's like, damn, like you hate to see that kind of stuff because like we're not causing harm, we're not, breaking shit for the most part. Some people do, but like
yeah.
for the most part, people are respectful of these places and just like trying to capture them and share them. And so it does suck that they don't care about that. They don't care about your intention behind things. They just care that you're like on someone's property. So
Yeah.
it does suck. But how about your most dangerous or your riskiest exploration?
Oh boy. There was two separate times when floors were very sketchy and had me nervous. One was at that mill, which was my first one, when I went back to uh, explore it again with a camera. And when I did that, it was by myself, and I didn't
Mm.
tell anyone I was going. I just went because it's like 10 minutes away from where I live, so I thought it'd be fine. And when I went up into the building, I was going up to like this area where there was offices and like a testing lab and all this stuff, and that like top wooden floor when I got up there was very like warped and like soft and was moving
Mm.
when I was stepping on it, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm alone. I could fall through this shit and no one would know. Sorry, I just swore on your podcast. I don't
No,
know.
you're good.
Okay,
Go for it.
cool.
Say whatever the fuck you want.
So that was dumb just because I was alone and didn't tell anyone. And I've learned
Yeah,
to, if I'm at least going to be alone, to let someone know, like give them like a check-in time and all that. That's a good
sure.
tip. But, um, and then the other time when a floor scared me was at this giant hotel and resort, um, down in, like kind of in the Catskills, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm in upstate New York, so not
Got it.
everything's pretty close. There's so much in New York, it's crazy. But yeah, we were on like the top floor of the hotel, and I want to say it was like 4 floors. And I was like going ahead. We were kind of like peeking in room to room on this hotel, and I was about to just be like, all right, well, all these rooms are just hotel rooms. They're all the same. I want to get like to the end and go over there. And I was about to just make a beeline down the hallway. And my buddy actually was like, dude, look. And he like pointed down at the floor and like saw how like it was like literally like sagging. And
Oh
I was
my
like,
god.
oh, thanks. And we were like, all right, screw that. We'll go all the way down and around and be safe about it. And I'm
Damn.
glad we did, because at the end of that explore, we ended up like up on the roof of one of the hotel buildings, to like hang out there while the sun was setting. And we looked over at one of the buildings, and you could see through the windows that the like part of the top floor collapsed, and then like all the floors just pancaked, and you could like just see that, you could see it through like all the windows, and it went all the way to the bottom. And my friend was just like,
Damn.
oh, that could have been us.
Oh my god, that's wild, dude. It's crazy that like the structural integrity of these buildings is like not great.
Yeah, that's really my biggest fear, like more so than running into like other people.
Yeah.
um yeah, it's just like the buildings themselves. But I mean, if the risk is part of the reward, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you do when you're not exploring abandoned places? Like what's your like normal life?
I drive a forklift Monday through Friday. That's fine, I guess. I play a lot of video games, hang out with my
Sick.
cat. Um, yeah, pretty boring. Do some writing. I like photography. Like I like photographing like other things that aren't like abandoned places too. I've been getting into that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it. Pretty low key. I feel like I don't get out a lot. It takes a lot to get me excited to like leave my little dwelling, you know.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get that fully, fully. So do you have any like goal places, like bucket list spots that you're like dying to explore?
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. I have a huge list of things. I've never really explored anywhere outside of New York, so I need to do
Oh
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only really done it around here. Like anywhere I can drive to in a day is basically all I've been doing. But at some in the summer, I'm road tripping out to see my friend in Colorado, and I'm hoping to hit up spots on the way if I have time. And where I'm trying to find like old ghost towns or like mining towns in Colorado, things like
For sure.
that. But like my dream is like there's like some mansions that I really really want to go to. I just like I have to really like get it together because that's like upping my game. There's some
Yeah.
schools too that I'd like to do. I have never been to a school.
Oh
Um,
man, I love going to schools. They're crazy, especially when there's like stuff left in them. There's one here. I live in Nashville, so there's one here that like got hit by a tornado
oh wow!
like a year and a half ago, or about 2 years ago now, and just completely destroyed the school. But they obviously like condemned it and left everything there. So there's like the desks are there, the science equipment's there, like literally everything. So I went there with Abandoned Nashville, who's now changed his name to Jeremy Explores, and Steve Ronan, and some other explorers. It was super cool, and just walking around that place, and the nature has like grown back through the floor, so the like tiles there, but there's like plants growing up through the tiles. It's a sick place. Like I've got 2 photos of that place printed and hung up in my house. I have like a bunch of urbex photos printed in my house just because it's if I'm gonna decorate, like I want to do it with my photos. So
Oh hell yeah!
it's pretty. It was a pretty cool thing, but I've done a couple schools here and there. I did a elementary school in rural West Virginia. Like literally, the town's population was like 105 people, and
Wow.
like we just asked somebody like, "Do you know where this is at?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, it's up on the hill." So we like go up on the hill. It's there. Like no graffiti, just completely just destroyed by nature or by the elements, really.
That's the
But
dream. If you can
yeah,
find
dude,
that.
it was sick. It was so sick. No graffiti at all. Like just a beautiful, untouched place. Like nobody really knew about it. So it was like super cool to go see that. And yeah, I mean, I like Colorado's sick. I did like 2 or 3 days there in the Denver area and like outside of Denver. There's so much abandoned shit out there. It's crazy. There's like a military bunker. There's like damn, what else? We did a strip club, like an abandoned strip
That's
club,
fun.
which was sick, and like I work for an ex-adult film star, and she started out like dancing at clubs, and she like I sent her like, yo, like look where I'm at, and she was like, oh my god, I've totally danced there,
That's
like back in the
amazing.
day. I'm like, that's wild. So
Wow.
it's cool, like getting to travel and go see these different places. So yeah, I hope you do get out of New York and
Oh yeah.
get some spots on your map. And if you need some spots, I mean, I'm happy to trade or whatever, talk about that.
Cool.
But
Appreciate it.
um,
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be. I was planning on stopping on Nashville on the way too.
yeah, come through, man. Let me know when you're trying to plan that. We'll talk after the podcast, obviously. But yeah, whenever you plan to do that, I can show you around here for sure. But if you could live in one place you've explored for an entire week, which place would it be?
Ah man. Like as it sits now today.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh. Probably. Honestly, probably the. I found this old abandoned like forest ranger cabin up on this
Sick.
mountain in the Adirondacks, and I didn't even know it was there. Like it was a straight up just hiking day
Oh,
with my
okay.
brother, and it was like halfway up this huge mountain, and yeah, it was really cool. It was honestly like I was thinking like when COVID first hit, and things were crazy at first. I was like, man, like if I have to, I could just go there. I just pack up a couple cans of soup or something, and
Perfect.
go up there and like sweep that cabin out and just live in there. Like I'd be fine. Maybe I could
So
do a
good.
week at least. That'd be fine.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
views.
So, yeah, one of my newer questions that I literally just added to the show is what does your family think about you doing this? Like,
Uh they probably well my like one of my brothers thinks it's the coolest thing ever, and he like loves he'll send me places that he sees like online.
nice.
He doesn't like go himself really, but he
Sure.
just thinks it's really cool, and he loves when I talk about it or show him the pictures and stuff. um so he's super into it, and the rest of the family probably is just like, just don't get killed or hurt. I
Yeah,
wish you liked something more normal, but whatever. So that's the vibes I get from that. But they don't like, they don't hate on it. They're just like,
for
whatever.
sure. Yeah, definitely. So what do you hope for the future of urban exploring?
Um, I mean, it's probably been beaten to death, but I really just wish people would not speed along the process of these places falling apart. Like, it's like, I get it. Like, kids are, they do their thing, but like, I'm okay with like some graffiti too. Like I've seen some cool graffitis that's like amazing, like really good art.
Yeah.
But it's just like going in and just smashing and destroying stuff. Like I really wish that wasn't part of it, and it sucks to see. And these places, like we were talking about these places that we love going to, getting demolished and destroyed, and they're not going to be here forever. And
Yeah.
it's even if they're left untouched, they're still gonna like fall into disarray anyway. So I it sucks finding cool places that looked way better before,
Yeah.
or could. Um, so if anything, I would like that to change. I don't know if it will or
Definitely.
not, but it just seems like it's just part of it.
Yeah, no, totally. And, I agree. And I wouldn't say it's been beaten to death. I just think it's important, that
Yeah.
that these places are a little more respected. I mean, like, I tell people all the time, like, treat it as if you're walking into a museum,
Hmm.
like, just fucking look at stuff. Don't break things. Like, you wouldn't go to a museum and start smashing shit. I mean, I
Right.
guess some people are throwing beans on paintings, and I don't know what's happening,
Oh yeah.
but
That does happen.
it does happen. But my last question for you is, what is something you know now that you wish you knew when you started exploring?
I wish I knew to wear pants every time I explored, no matter how hot it was that day. Because one time I had to do some climbing, and yeah, I like tore up my shins pretty bad. Um, and like, there's so many other things you'll come across, like, and I like I've had to like go through like a field to get somewhere, and like got ticks on me, just like,
Ugh,
yeah. So
the
wear
worst.
pants. It doesn't hurt to bring like a pair of gloves too, in case you're in a scenario where you like have to like climb out of something. You don't want to like tear your hands up.
For sure.
Usually you don't have to do that, but like the one time I did, I like was really like a mess when I got out of there, and I hated myself.
Definitely. Yeah. Even if it's like a weather thing, like right now it's super cold in a bunch of different places. Like I know, yeah, up in your area it's probably freezing, but
Mm,
definitely like yesterday it was like 30 degrees here and I was like, let's go explore. And then I was like, this sucks. Like, why do we do this to ourselves? Like, why? But, we got to do what we got to do. And, thank you so much for coming on the show. If people want to keep following your journey, let them know where they can find you online.
yeah, my Instagram is ancient_Adam. Um, it's set to private, but I'll probably let some people follow if it looks legit. You know,
For sure.
there's a lot of weird fake accounts on there, and I've had friends like get images stolen, and it's a
Yeah.
mess. But yeah, That's about it. That's
Cool.
all I have for social media.
All right, guys, that was my episode with Ancient Adam. If you liked that episode of No Tracers, please leave a rating and feedback on the show. It helps us grow. It helps us find an audience of amazing listeners that are just like yourself. If you guys want to connect with me, all my social media are down in the description, but if you look at No Tracers on pretty much any platform, you'll be able to find me. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you liked the show. If you want to come on No Tracers, shoot me a DM on Instagram, or you can email me at contact@notracers.com. Like I said at the beginning, merch and books are up on the store, notracers.com, and I will talk to you next Friday with another one. Stay strong, keep enduring, go out, go explore something, and remember, leave no trace.